So I was at my local book off and I found something that's incredibly rare. I found a pro wrestling game. I mean, you can find pro wrestling games in places like Mandarake and Book Off and Manga Soko. You can find like old cartridge-based games. Usually they're Japanese games like New Japan, All Japan. And you might be able to find some old WWF or WCW games. But it's really rare to find a WWE game that's disc-based and more recent. This one's from 2011. This was released, I think, October or November of 2010. SmackDown vs. Raw 2011. And I used to have this game for Xbox 360. I don't have it anymore. So I saw this for PS3 and I couldn't believe it because it's just so rare to find these. They stopped releasing WWE games after WWE 12, which was released in late 2011. That was the last time that they released a WWE game in Japan. So starting with WWE 13, they just stopped. You could only import. So it's really rare to find it because it's just not popular in Japan. And I have been getting the SmackDown vs. Raw series every year since 2006. From 2006 all the way up to now, every year around October, November time when it comes out, I always have it pre-ordered and I get it. And they of course changed the name over the years. They started off SmackDown vs. Raw, then they changed it to WWE 12, WWE 13, and then they changed it to 2K14, 15. Now it's coming out with 2K20. But it's all under the same developer, same publisher. So I found this, and this was about 900 yen, but with tax it's about 1,000 yen. I assume that this is going to be in Japanese. It'll have English audio, of course. I can't get this open, but I assume that it will have Japanese language on the screen. So there we go. Now, I haven't played this game since 2011. Because every year a new game comes out and I always get it. And so every year that a new game comes out, the game that I stop playing, I play it for the entire year and then I never play it again. So recently I've been going back and playing old SmackDown vs. Raw games. So I got this one. I haven't played it since 2011. And I also got a PS2 emulator on my laptop. And I started downloading old games like SmackDown vs. Raw 2006, 2007, 2008. I mean, I have Here Comes the Pain, which is a great game from 2003. Some people would say it's the greatest wrestling game of all time. Definitely not No Mercy. I hate when people say that. That's so stupid. No Mercy sucks. Basically, any wrestling game on the N64 sucked. What a terrible controller. Anyway, here's the manual for it. Now I remember what I was leading up towards. I'm just sort of rambling now. Here's just showing you how to play the game. It's all written in Japanese. I assume all this stuff's going to be in Japanese, but a lot of it will be katakana. And if you know wrestling, very well, then you can probably read that stuff. If you understand katakana and you know wrestling very well, you can probably read a lot of it. Here's the thing, if you're a wrestling fan, you come to Japan, it's going to be very hard to find wrestling games. Every year I would get it pre-ordered and get it on disc. And the last game I was able to do that for was for Xbox One for WWE 2K16, which released in, I think, October, November 2015. That was the last game I was able to pre-order and get on disc. And for 2K17, that was in October or November of 2016. And I wasn't able to use my US bank card anymore because it was no longer active, and I couldn't use a Japanese card to pay for anything on a US Microsoft account or a US PlayStation account. Now I did make a Japanese Xbox One account and a Japanese PS4 account, but the wrestling games are not available on Japanese accounts. It's just not available for the Japanese store, so I have to buy it on the English store. But I can't use a Japanese bank card on the English store. You have to be using a card that has a US address. So I was really upset about that like 3 years ago, and I was like, oh no, how am I supposed to get wrestling games? So then I found a workaround. You just go on to, there's different Amazons. There's like, I order a lot of stuff from the Japanese Amazon. But if you go on the US Amazon page, you can use a Japanese debit or credit card to order things on the US page. And so I would buy, well, the first year I directly bought 2K17. There was actually a gift card to buy the game, and I used the Japanese card to buy it off the US Amazon and get the download code. And then every year after that, what I do is, basically this is for any game, any US game that I can't get in Japan, I will take my Japanese card and I will buy either a PlayStation Store or Microsoft Store gift cards, anywhere from $10 to $100, depending on what it is I'm buying. And I will just download these codes, and then I will add it to my digital wallet for PlayStation Store or Microsoft Store. And that's how I've been buying games still. So every year I'm still able to buy these games. So that's something that you're going to have to deal with when you come to Japan, is you might have to find some workarounds to get certain things, because you get locked out of these things. Yeah, so that's something you may not have known, and now you know. But yeah, so I'm just getting all nostalgic, and I'll definitely get 2K20 later this year. But I just felt like getting nostalgic and playing lots of old games, old wrestling games, and seeing how they stack up compared to now. And I'm playing SmackDown vs. Raw 2007, and it's got like the GM mode, which they haven't had since 2008. So it's been over probably 10 years since they've had GM mode, which was pretty cool. If you don't know what it is, look it up. I mean, I assume if you're watching this video, you know about these games and you're interested in Japan at the same time. So yeah. And honestly, that old game doesn't really stack up though. It's not that good. But I remember this game being pretty good. So this is from 2011. I remember it being pretty good. So I'm going to check it out and see what it's like. So if you like this video, leave a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell, because sometimes, a lot of times I like to collect things, but sometimes I might have some useful information for you if you decide to visit here or live here. So thanks for checking out this video. Share it on your social media if you think this information is useful to anyone else who you know may be moving to Japan. And I'll see you next time. He's Johnny in Japan. He's Johnny in Japan. He's the worst J-vlogger in the world. Crappy food reviews, barely any views. He's the worst J-vlogger in the world.